All right, good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, the time is 5:05, and I'd like to call to order and open the public hearing this evening on the fiscal year 2021 final millage and budget for Lee County. If anyone in our audience is here for the purpose of contesting their assessment, they should contact the Lee County property appraiser. Tonight we're holding the final millage and budget public hearing as required by Florida statutes chapters 129 and 200. The hearing will be conducted as follows. The board will first convene as the Board of Port Commissioners and proceed as follows. Step 1, we'll have a budget presentation by the Port Authority Budget Director. Step 2, public comment for final Port Authority budget. Now, this will be your only opportunity to comment on all budgets that the Board of Port Commissioners has authority over. There will be no other opportunity during this hearing to provide your comments. The Board of Port Commissioners will then discuss and make motions. And then step 4, we will adopt the fiscal year 2021 final Port Authority budget resolution with any appropriate changes. Following that, the Board of County Commissioners will reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners and will proceed as follows. Step 1, we'll have a brief overview of Lee County's fiscal year 2021 proposed budget presented by the Assistant County Manager and CFO. Step 2, we'll have a presentation of Lee County's total budget by Assistant County Manager CFO, including a discussion of the percentage increase in millage over the rolled back rate needed to fund the budget and the specific purposes for which ad valorem tax revenues are being increased. And that's by Florida statutes 200.065, Section 2, Section E, Section 1. We'll then, step 3, have a presentation of the special taxing units proposed final millages by the MSTU coordinator. Step 4, public comment for all budget issues under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. That will be your only opportunity to comment on all budgets the Board of County Commissioners has authority over. There will be no other opportunity during this hearing to provide your comments. Step 5, following public comment, the Board of County Commissioners may comment and then take action to move for approval of A, appropriate changes, B, a resolution to adopt the final millage, and C, the final budget. 6, we will consider special taxing units, final millages, and budgets. Step 7, we will consider countywide final millage and budget. Step 8, we'll consider the library, the unincorporated MSTU, and all hazards protection final millages and budgets. And finally, step 9, we'll consider the all other final budgets. Now, concerning citizen comments, in order to expedite hearing from everyone, citizens' comments will only be heard during 2 public segments of this hearing, the one that I mentioned for the Board of Port Commissioners and the other one for the Board of County Commissioners. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. Please do not applaud or take other actions that might intimidate or encourage a speaker. Public comments will continue until everyone who wishes to address the Commission has had an opportunity to speak. And we will now convene as the Board of Port Commissioners, and we will ask the Port Authority Budget Director to present the fiscal year 2021 proposed budget. Good evening.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just real briefly point out that I have previously provided your clerk with the proof of publication for this meeting, and you are authorized to proceed.
Good deal. We could even pop that in the script for next year. Okay, good deal. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Brian.
Good evening, Commissioners. For the record, Brian McGonigal, Lee County Port Authority. In compliance with Florida statute, a public hearing is being held on September 15, 2020 for the purpose of adopting the final budget for fiscal year 2021. The Board of Port Commissioners has acknowledged the revenue estimates necessary to fund the Port Authority budget for fiscal year 2021. The Board of County Commissioners is now convened as the Board of Port Commissioners for adoption of the final Port Authority budget. The budget for fiscal year 2021, as shown by the attached schedules of each fund, is made a part of this resolution and is proposed for adoption as the final budget of the Lee County Port Authority for fiscal year 20-21. Commissioners, there's no adjustments to the budget since we presented to you.
Very good. Commissioners, do we have any questions at all for our staff at this time? Okay, seeing none. At this time, then, the commission would be pleased to hear any citizens' comments concerning the Port Authority's final budget for fiscal year 2021. Do we have anybody who's here to speak in public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public comment at this time, and this now concludes the public comment segment regarding the Port Authority budget. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for the Port Authority for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Manning. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Sandelli. Do we have any discussion on that? No? Are there any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. All right. We will now reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. We will begin by asking that if any constitutional officer or any court-related services organization desires to make a budget presentation, please step forward to the podium. Please come up one at a time and make your statements. Anybody here from the courts or the constitutionals? Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward. At this time, we ask Assistant County Manager and CFO Pete Winton to present the fiscal year 2021 proposed budget. Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners. Before I get into the script, I want to put a few things on the record. This budget is the result of board workshops on March 17th, June 16th, August 4th, and August 25th, a first public hearing September 3rd, and then there have been no changes from the September 3rd public hearing. While the tax rates in this budget are flat, no changes from 1920 to 2021, they are not going to the rollback for the following reasons: delivery of continuation services, repayment of debt, funding for capital projects, and establishment of a revenue stabilization fund to offset revenue declines from COVID-19. This is the public hearing as required by Chapters 129 and 200 Florida statutes. Chapter 200, as amended, requires that a public hearing on the budgets be preceded by notice of the hearing. Such notice was advertised in the news press on September 12, 2020. At this time, we will read the proposed millages, rollback rates, and the proposed percentage change from the rollback rate for the county's general fund, library, unincorporated area MSTU, all hazards, and special taxing units millages. We will then take public input, and after public input, we will return to the board for discussion and vote on the millages. These proposed millages are established to pay for the fiscal 2021 continuation budget. Countywide millage. The proposed countywide millage is 4.0506 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 3.8934 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 4.04% increase from the rollback rate. Lee County Library. The proposed Lee County Library millage is 0.4956 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.4753 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 4.27% increase from the rollback rate. Lee County Unincorporated Area MSTU. The proposed Lee County Unincorporated Area MSTU millage is 0.8398 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.7962 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 5.48% increase from the rollback rate. Lee County All Hazards Protection District. The proposed Lee County All Hazards Protection District millage is 0.0693 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.0659 mils per thousand of taxable value. This represents a 5.16% increase from the rollback rate. Municipal Services Taxing/Benefit Units. The Municipal Services Taxing/Benefit Units allow communities to tax themselves to pay for added services such as streetlights, dredging, road paving, and landscaping. For those units that have citizen committees, the budgets for next year were approved by the committees, and the tax rate is a reflection of what is required to pay for the annual costs. For those that don't have citizen committees, the county charges a rate that pays for annual costs while maintaining a small operational reserve for variances in revenues and unanticipated costs. I will now ask Tim Gard, the MSTBU coordinator, to read into the record the proposed millage rates, the rollback rates, and the percentage change from the rollback rate for each of the special taxing units millages.
Night, night.
Evening, Commissioners.
How you doing?
Alabama Grove's light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.5150 for a 20.36% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.6467. Bayshore Estates light MSTU proposed millage rate is 1.2000 for an 18.97% decrease from the rollback rate of 1.4810. Billy Creek Commerce light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2355 for a 13.32% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.2717. Burkdale Streetlight MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2550 for an 8.54% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.2788. Burnt Store Fire MSTU proposed millage rate is 2.0000 for a 9.17% decrease from the rollback rate of 2.2019. Charleston Park Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 1.5500 for a 5.41% increase from the rollback rate of 1.4705. City of Cape Coral Solid Waste MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.1753 for a 19.66% increase from the rollback rate of 0.1465. Cypress Lake Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.3650 for a 5.34% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.3856. Dodger Creek Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.6200 for a 14.20% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.7226. Flamingo Bay Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.3015 for a 12.86% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.3460. Fort Myers Shores Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.1936 for a 10.25% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.2157. Fort Myers Villas Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2365 for a 2.15% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.2417. Gasparilla Island MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.0520 for a 0% change from the rollback rate of 0. Harlem Heights Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.7000 for a 35.79% decrease from the rollback rate of 1.0902. Hyman Apollo Street Light Unit MSTU proposed millage rate is 1.2000 for an 18.99% decrease from the rollback rate of 1.4813. Hendry Creek Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.3310 for a 7.77% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.3589. Iona Gardens Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.5550 for a 30.05% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.7934. Lehigh Acres Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.7460 for a 7.31% increase from the rollback rate of 0.6952. Lockmore Village Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.5000 for a 7.10% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.5382. Maryville Light District MSTU proposed millage rate of 3.6000 for a 1.95% increase from the rollback rate of 3.5313. McGregor Isles O&M Special Improvement Unit proposed millage rate is 0.3406 for a 4.54% increase from the rollback rate of 0.3258. Mobile Haven Light MSTU proposed millage rate of 0.5050 for a 19.75% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.6293. Moore Shores Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.3080 for a 12.28% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.3511. Northeast Hurricane Bay MSTU proposed millage rate is 1.0000 for a 27.00% increase from the rollback rate of 0.7874. North Fort Myers Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.1700 for a 13.49% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.1965. Page Park Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2750 for a 24.74% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.3654. Palmetto Point Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.3858 for a 4.62% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.4045. Palmona Park Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 1.2550 for an 18.77% increase from the rollback rate of 1.0567. Pine Manor Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.5900 for a 4.52% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.6179. Port Edison Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.4000 for a 7.41% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.4320. Riverdale Shores Improvement MSTU proposed millage rate is 1.6500 for a 41.67% decrease from the rollback rate of 2.8289. Russell Park Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.6305 for a 17.04% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.7600. St. Jude Harbor Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2060 for an 18.48% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.2527. San Carlos Island Lighting Unit MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.0471 for a 25.36% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.0631. San Carlos Special Improvement MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2725 for a 4.49% increase from the rollback rate of 0.2608. Skyline Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.1132 for a 16.33% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.1353. Tanglewood Improvement MSTU proposed millage rate is 1.000 for a 6.07% increase from the rollback rate of 0.9428. Town and River Improvement MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2870 for a 0.31% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.2879. Trailwinds Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.5159 for a 5.63% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.5467. Tropic Isles Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.4962 for a 14.29% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.5789. Stepa Island Fire MSTU proposed millage rate is 2.7100 for a 0.87% decrease from the rollback rate of 2.7337. Villa Palms Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.5990 for a 6.84% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.6430. Villa Pines Light MSTU proposed millage rate of 0.2500 for a 2.88% increase from the rollback rate of 0.2430. Waterway Estates Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.2548 for a 20.52% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.3206. Waterway Shores Light MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.6300 for an 8.19% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.6862. Whiskey Creek Improvement MSTU proposed millage rate is 0.9999 for a 2.87% increase from the rollback rate of 0.9720. Previously read fiscal year 2020 to 2021 special unit taxing unit millages are proposed for final adoption. Any percentage in the proposed millage over the rollback rate reflected above is due to a combination of increased electric costs, additional landscaping, and other future projects. If no changes are made after public comment, only one motion to adopt will be required, as the resolution includes all of these taxing units.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Did you get all that?
Yeah, congratulations.
That was riveting.
I didn't want him going too fast for her.
I got you.
Looks like she's okay, though.
Oh, she can watch the tape back at the end. There you go. At this time, please no.
No.
At this time, the commission will be pleased to hear any citizens' comments concerning any budgets under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. So again, to reiterate to those members who may have come in after we called the meeting to order, this is your only opportunity to comment on all of the budgets under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. There will be no other opportunity to provide your comments tonight. So please raise your hand if anybody's here to speak in public comment tonight. Okay, I see no hands, so I'll go ahead and close the public comment period. And this concludes the public comment segment of the hearing. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for the special taxing units.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Manning. Do I have a second from Commissioner Mann? Very good.
It's final budget. We gotta let John do it.
There you go. There you go.
Well, that's my favorite part, the one we just did.
Do we have any discussion on that motion? Well, I got the motion from Manning and the second from Commissioner Mann.
There you go.
Unless he objects. Do we have any discussion on this? Real quick, just congratulations. Looks like a lot of them were decreasing in this year, and nice to see that. Very good. I'll go ahead and call the question. Any objection? No objection. That motion carries unanimously. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final budgets for the above stated special taxing units for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Mann. The second is from Commissioner Manning. Do we have any discussion?
Got that, didn't you?
No?
Yeah.
We got it, and it's in the minutes now. Are there any objections to the motion? No objections. That motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, colleagues.
We will now ask the Assistant County Manager and Chief Financial Officer to proceed with the countywide millages and budgets. Mr. Winton?
The proposed countywide millage is 4.0506 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 3.8934 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 4.04% increase from the rollback rate.
Very good. And before I ask for the motion, that 4.0506 mils, that is the same rate we used last year?
Correct.
Correct. Okay, very good. And I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final countywide millage resolution.
So moved.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Manning. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner Sandelli. Do we have any discussion? Any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final countywide budget for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Manning and a second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Do we have any discussion on that? Do we have any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
The proposed Lee County Library millage is 0.4956 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.4753 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 4.27% increase from the rollback rate.
Very good. I'll now ask for a resolution to adopt the final Lee County Library millage resolution.
So moved.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Manning.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Mann. Do we have any discussion? Do we have any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final Lee County Library budget for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Manning. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Mann. Any discussion? Any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
The proposed Lee County unincorporated area MSTU millage is 0.8398 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.7962 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 5.48% increase from the rollback rate.
Very good. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for the Lee County unincorporated area MSTU.
So moved.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Manning. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Any discussion? Any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for the Lee County unincorporated area MSTU for fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Manning. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Any discussion? Any objection? No objection. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
The proposed Lee County All Hazards Protection District millage is 0.0693 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.0659 mils per thousand of taxable value. This represents a 5.16% increase from the rollback rate.
Very good. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for the Lee County All Hazards Protection District.
So moved.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Manning, second from Commissioner Sandelli. Do we have any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for the Lee County All Hazards Protection District for the fiscal year 20-21. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Manning, second from Commissioner Pendergrass. There you go. Any discussion on that? No? Are there any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
Lee County, all other budgets for the board's adoption tonight make up the rest of the total county budget proposed for next fiscal year. These are funds that are not supported by a millage and include significant operations such as utilities, solid waste, visitor and convention bureau, transit, toll facilities, and those budgets funded through grants from other entities. These budgets are included as part of the total Lee County budget and are detailed in the budget summary in your materials.
Very good. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final Lee County all other budgets.
So moved.
Motion for approval from
Second.
Commissioner Manning and a second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Do we have any discussion on that? Are there any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
In compliance with Florida statutes, this public hearing is being held on September 15th, 2020 for the purposes of the adoption of the final total Lee County budget for fiscal year 2021, and the Board of County Commissioners has now adopted the final millage rates necessary to fund the budget. The proposed Lee County budget for fiscal year 2021 is shown in the budget summary reports, which outlines each fund and is made part of the budget resolution, is now being proposed for adoption as the final total Lee County budget of Lee County, Florida for fiscal year 2021.
Very good. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final total Lee County budget for fiscal year 20-21.
So moved.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Manning,
Second.
second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections. That motion carries unanimously. There being no further business before us, we are adjourned at 5:31.
Thank you.
Good work.